Tyler Robinson, a possible attack anti-fascist. Charlie Kirk, a 31-year-old activist and ally of President Donald Trump, was killed by a single gunshot while speaking in front of some 3,000 people as part of his American Comeback Tour at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, about 40 miles south of Salt Lake City. The shooting sent students and onlookers running in a panic, captured on video and spread widely. Tyler Robinson, 22, from Utah, was taken into custody Friday, September 12, 2025, in connection with the shooting death of Charlie Kirk. Robinson was arrested after a 33-hour manhunt after he allegedly confessed or implied a confession to a family member. The suspect, Tyler Robinson, allegedly engraved messages into bullet casings. But what did the message engraved on the bullet casings say? What charges will Tyler Robinson face and when? Everything that is known so far you will see in this video. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. The attack. Charlie Kirk, 31, was fatally shot during an appearance at a Utah Valley University campus event on Wednesday, September 10th. The conservative activist was shot during a rally hosted by Turning Point USA, which he founded in 2012 at Utah Valley University. He was manning one of his signature Prove Me Wrong tables, in which he invited critics to debate him on various political subjects, when a shot was fired nearly 200 yards away. In the initial aftermath, authorities detained and released 2 persons of interest in connection with the shooting, though they released them after determining they were not connected to the political commentator's death. The suspect is believed to have fired from the roof of a building 200 yards away from the event. They believe Robinson allegedly fired at Kirk from the roof of the Student Services building 200 yards away from the event while Kirk was speaking. Surveillance footage was later released, showing a black-clad figure running across the rooftop, climbing down the building and then collapsing to the ground before quickly walking into a wooded area off campus. After the shooting, authorities released photos of the suspect wearing a black shirt with a logo, a dark-colored hat, and sunglasses. At a press conference Friday morning, Cox said that an inscription found on the bullet casing fired at Kirk read, "Notices, bulges, oh whoa, what's this?" Engravings on unspent casings found with the .30-06 Mauser rifle discovered in the woods near the university read, "Hey fascist, catch," followed by an up arrow, right arrow, and 3 down arrows. "I think that speaks for itself," Cox said when asked about motive, referencing the casing with the anti-fascist inscription. The arrest. Tyler Robinson, 22, of Utah, was identified as the suspect accused of killing Charlie Kirk. Robinson allegedly confessed to a family member, which ultimately led to his arrest. Robinson was arrested after he allegedly confessed or implied a confession to a family member. The suspected gunman who shot Charlie Kirk was handed into police by his father, ending a 2-day manhunt. Mr. Robinson's father, Matt Robinson, a former sheriff and a family friend, were instrumental in bringing the suspect to law enforcement's attention. After an intense 33-hour manhunt, authorities took Tyler Robinson, 22, into custody in St. George, Utah, on Thursday night, FBI Director Kash Patel said at a press conference on Friday, September 12th. "We got him," Utah Governor Spencer Cox said at the press conference. He was arrested after a family member of his reached out to a family friend, who then contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office to report Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident, according to the affidavit. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. Robinson is being held without bail at a Utah jail on several charges, including aggravated murder. Discovery and research. Authorities reveal engravings on bullet casings, allegedly tied to Charlie Kirk shooting suspect. Tyler Robinson, 22, is in custody in connection with the political commentator's fatal shooting. The suspect, Tyler Robinson, allegedly engraved messages into bullet casings. The casings included apparently anti-fascist messages. The man suspected of fatally shooting Charlie Kirk allegedly engraved anti-fascist messages into bullet casings before opening fire on the right-wing commentator. No inscriptions referenced transgender issues, contrary to an early erroneous law enforcement bulletin. At a press conference, Friday, September 12 morning, Cox said that an inscription found on the bullet casing fired at Kirk read, "Notices bulges, oh whoa, what's this?" Engravings on unspent casings, found with the .30-06 Mauser rifle discovered in the woods near the university, read, "Hey fascist, catch," followed by an up arrow, right arrow, and 3 down arrows. "I think that speaks for itself," Cox said when asked about motive, referencing the casing with the anti-fascist inscription. Another read, "Oh bella ciao, 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 ciao," a possible reference to a World War II-era Italian anti-fascist folk song. Another engraving read, "If you read this you are gay el Mao," said Cox. Who is Tyler Robinson? So, who is Tyler Robinson? Here's what we know about the Utah resident suspected of assassinating Charlie Kirk so far. Tyler Robinson, 22, is in custody in connection with the political commentator's fatal shooting. Robinson was enrolled in the electrical apprenticeship program at Dixie Technical College, one of 16 Utah system of higher education institutions, the Utah Board of Higher Education said in a statement posted online. Robinson celebrating his college scholarship. The brilliant student is believed to have dropped out after 1 semester. He grew up in Washington, Utah, about 5 miles from the technical college, which is about a 3.5-hour drive from Utah Valley University. In 2021, Robinson attended Utah State University for 1 semester and received college credit through Utah Tech University from 2019 to 2021 while he was in high school, the statement said. Charges Charlie Kirk's suspected assassin will likely face. A probable cause affidavit states that Robinson is likely to face charges including aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, and obstruction of justice. Those charges and the evidence against Robinson were strong enough for a judge to sign off on Utah Attorney General Brian Davis's request be held without bail pending formal charges in the case, according to a remand order signed by Magistrate Judge Sean R. Howell. Prosecutors in Utah have 3 days to file an official indictment against Robinson under state law, at which time the suspected shooter would appear in court to be arraigned. Donald Trump announced the arrest and called for the death penalty for the 22-year-old accused of assassinating the president's close friend and political ally. Robinson would enter his plea to the charges at that time, and the judge selected to preside over the proceedings would then decide if he should continue being held without bail or granted pre-trial release. Robinson could also potentially face federal charges as well. A public safety assessment report filed in the case reveals that Robinson has no prior felony or misdemeanor convictions on his record. That assessment also determined that Robinson is not at an elevated risk of committing a violent crime, but still recommends that he be held without bail or released with maximum conditions and/or monetary bail. Robinson is currently in custody at the Utah County Jail in Spanish Fork. Suspected shooter Robinson, 22, is being held on suspicion of 3 charges: aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, and obstruction of justice. Prosecutors can seek the death penalty in cases where the defendant is charged with aggravated murder in Utah if specific criteria are met. The probable cause affidavit filed in the Robinson case accuses the alleged gunman of shooting Charlie Kirk in a circumstance that put many around him at grave risk of death. Robinson is expected to be formally charged by prosecutors on Tuesday, September 16th, the same day he is due in court for his arraignment, during which he will enter a plea. The alleged gunman could seek a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. However, if he is convicted and sentenced to death by a jury, he would be placed on death row ahead of his execution by lethal injection or a firing squad if the necessary drugs aren't available. Reactions and statements. Robinson recently noted with family members at a dinner that Kirk was coming to UVU and discussed their dislike of him. Robinson's roommate also showed authorities a joke from a Discord account associated with him that said, "I need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point." Information for victims. Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, breaks her silence after husband's murder. Erica, 36, spoke out about the ordeal during a press conference on Friday, September 12, when she thanked local, state, and federal law enforcement, as well as Charlie's dear friend, Vice President J.D. Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha Vance, for their love and support. She also thanked President Donald Trump for his support and friendship with her late husband. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith, Erica said. Erica also revealed how she handled telling the couple's 3-year-old daughter about Charlie's death. According to the mom of 2, her young child recently asked her, "Where's Daddy?" "What do you tell a 3-year-old?" "She's 3, Erica told viewers watching. "I said, 'Baby, Daddy loves you so much, don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus, so he can afford your blueberry budget.'" She concluded her message, "Thank you all again, who love my husband, who supported him, who wrote him an email every single day during his radio show. He read all of them, all of them. God bless you all, and God bless America." Erica and Charlie met in 2018. 2 years later, they got engaged in December 2020, and they then tied the knot in May 2021. During their 4-year marriage, the couple welcomed a daughter in August 2022, and then a son in May 2024. Charlie died weeks after he and his wife celebrated their daughter's 3rd birthday. Matt Lamb, a former Turning Point USA official, told of Charlie after his death. "He loved his wife and loved his kids. You could just tell about the way he talked about them. Certainly, he has a more important legacy than Turning Point in his wife and his 2 kids," Lamb continued. "His legacy will live on through that." What we know on Charlie Kirk funeral plans. Exact details, such as a date for Charlie Kirk's funeral, have not yet been released. Kirk's funeral will take place in Arizona, where he lived with his wife and 2 children before his death. President Donald Trump said he plans to attend the funeral. Air Force 2 transported Kirk's body to a Phoenix mortuary on Thursday, September 11th. The flight originated from Salt Lake City, Utah.